Welcome back. I swear I heard that noise again. To Grimerica Outlawed, guys. Outlawed Roundup coming at you November 11th, 2024 with everybody out.
November 27th. November 27th.
November 27th, 2024.
No, you're in Remembrance Day for some reason. You're like right back.
Did I say November 11th?
Yeah.
Well, I'm reading the date off of the top of the thing, which is 11.27.24. So I just like, I lost my column.
Yeah,
or I'm losing my mind. One of the two. Okay. Everybody out and emo human rights 101.
Yeah, yeah.
Emo like an emo person?
No, emo as in the town emo. Weirdly enough.
I've seen that. I've been to emo.
Really?
Yeah.
How big is it?
It's not very big. I shouldn't say I've been to emo. I've been through emo. I don't say that I've ever stopped there. I probably got gas there. There's an off chance that I might have got a hotel there.
Is it on the highway or off the highway?
On the highway, I think. I mean, now I should check just to make sure that I'm right.
Well, they got fined, so
I did scroll past that and wonder if it had something to do with your.
Yeah, I just thought, that's something that we should probably talk about. It's just garbage that's happening in the local governments, Or like somebody said in the comments, it's like the government suing other departments of the government. Like, there's a problem when.
Yeah, there it is. So when I played,
are suing each other and who's paying the fines? Us.
When I played a hockey tournament in International Falls, I went through emo.
Right.
It was my first hockey tournament in the States.
Wow.
We had won or finished second in a tournament of like 30 teams in Northwestern Ontario. So we're in the top 3 teams in Northwestern Ontario.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, we're pretty.
There goes my fucking mixer.
Pretty. So you can't hear me.
Can you hear me still? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay, well, I can't hear you. My mixer just went. I'm going to try to change the settings here. This is getting too much.
Anyway,
it's like when I try to record it, something happens.
It was a big hockey culture.
I'm gonna have to reboot it. So you're gonna have to just hold this down for a sec.
Hold it down. I'm not as good at hockey as Graham, but I'm no slouch. Anyway, we went to International Falls. We got fucking smoked so bad in every single game that it wasn't even funny, because it turns out that all these kids had to try out and a bunch of people weren't making the team. And in our town, everybody just made the team. So, we got smoked. It was bad. It was, I think we lost the one game like 11-1, and we're all in bad moods and getting in fights. Are you back? You're muted now.
Right. I can hear it. Well, my mixer's off.
Ah. Well, the road is not getting rave reviews this week, huh? On either front.
It's rebooting, so I'll be back in a sec.
I'm sure my warranty is void by now anyway. So
no. It's March or May.
And I got mine after you, right?
No, they're both at the same time, I believe.
I think I got mine a couple weeks later. After you though. Like if yours is good, mine's good. I didn't get it before you for sure.
There, I'm back, right?
You're back, baby. Okay, well, I'm going to jump over into this because I wasn't sure you were going to be back. So this is our buddy Marty up north, even though he does piss me off sometimes. I can't help but like the guy most of the time, even though I don't agree with half the things that come out of his mouth. Maybe a quarter. Asylum seekers coming to Canada get an average of $82,000 per year in benefits like housing and healthcare. Last year, we had more than 200,000 applicants, which cost taxpayers over $10 billion. Can you believe it? $10 billion.
I can't. They don't. They're out of. They're losing. They're out of control.
Well, it's a good thing you did your taxes because you're going to get the $250.
No, that's off the table. Apparently,
I heard it was on the table.
I mean, I don't know. I just saw a mainstream headline that said it was off the table. So.
Well, that's pretty good because I was going to be like another 7 or 8 billion, and it's like, what is happening? Like we're borrowing $55 billion to keep the country running, but we're like, let's give away some money. I mean, it's fucking nuts. So anyway, I got he's got this video, which is Mark Miller, the Minister of Immigration.
Does it last this high? Is this a first time?
Can you hear it? Is it too loud?
I can hear it. Yeah, it's a little loud, but
We're seeing this in our country.
The highest volume that the IRB has had.
By having 200,000 new refugee referrals coming to the department, the wait time has gone up from 14 months to process a file to now 44 months. That's the highest it's ever been. And why does that matter? It matters because now it gives an applicant, which we're seeing a lot of fake asylum claims from, stay in the country for additional 44 months with status. They're allowed to get a job. They're allowed to get health care. They're allowed to stay in our country. Out of the 200,000 new referrals, 70% are just within this year. So all the changes Mark Miller has made has actually led to this crisis. And we spoke about this in our previous video as well. An average refugee cost taxpayers $82,000 per refugee per year. This is just another example of chaos that this government has caused.
Yeah, but hang on. Whoa,
in the last video we made.
That's not a fair statement. We got to deconstruct that a little bit. That's what they're getting. That's not what it's costing us. I mean, you think that doesn't include the admin costs and all the bullshit that goes along with it, right? That's what they're directly getting, right? Isn't it? From
no, I think so. I think no, that's in benefits. I think they're getting other money as well, like maybe benefits that they're not talking about here. But I believe these benefits are like the 140 and the 86. If I say, so what's 140 plus 86 times 365? Because I think those were the numbers, weren't there? It was like 140 plus 86 equals 226 times 365 equals $82,490. So that's what they're getting in benefits. That's their hotel room money.
Okay, I know, but that's not the cost to us. That's what they're getting.
Yeah, we're paying for it.
No, I know, but the cost to us, that doesn't include. That's just a direct cost to them from.
Well, yeah, that's just a direct cost.
I mean, but the way he's wording it, it should be worded like that's what they're getting. The cost for the whole thing for us is way more than 82,000, obviously.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it is.
You know, they got to administrate it. There's all the programs, all the people. There's all the overhead that goes with it. I mean, this is just like a money funneling to
probably
them.
add 20% on that. 100 grand.
Actually, hang on. You can't even say it costs us 82.
But I think that is all the money, because then what happens is like they're all getting that no matter what, even the kids. So it's like 5 of them are crammed into some hotel room, and you know, they're getting those checks. My mom says I used to go to stock car races in EMO when I was a kid. So
oh yeah, cool. Yeah,
I knew it. You know, I've been that EMO. It's a shithole. I mean, just like every place else over there.
Just that might explain why they got themselves in hot water over this. We'll talk about that after this one.
All right, can I keep going? I mean, so that is what it is. It's 140 per person per day for a hotel, and another 86 per person per day for food.
I showed you how Mark Miller has no idea of what's happening in his own department.
That volume is disconcerting. It's really a system that has gotten out of control, and it's a conversation that we need to have.
I asked his department reps the same questions, basic questions that you could get Google answers for, but they had no idea. Watch this clip.
Do we know what the number of approvals were last year for student visas?
We can also table those figures with the committee.
Do we know how many came through the student direct stream versus the regular channel?
Happy to provide that data to the committee.
Do you know what the average
crazy
process?
Buck teeth? You see that? They got like V in there. It's like she's been fucking nibbling on a rock or something.
Oh,
what?
That's uncalled for. I mean, we don't have to like diss people's appearances now.
Are you? We can though.
Time was for the student direct stream.
I can provide that data separately to the committee.
Do you know how much time it took to process the security component of those SDS programs for those applicants?
I don't have that information with me, but we can provide that information to the committee.
They had no.
It's just the way
close up of the buck teeth.
it's her demeanor too. It's her demeanor and the way they're speeding it up. It makes her look
I
like
have
a
that
chipmunk.
information.
It's the speed of the video that makes her look like a chipmunk.
She is a chipmunk too. Look at her teeth.
They don't have a single answer. It's why do they bother this? Why this theater? If you're not going to answer any questions, why do they allow them in there? This is all just a waste of our money and resources. It's unbelievable. Let's keep going.
She could eat an apple through a picket fence.
No idea. Justin Trudeau and his liberal ministers, Mark Miller and Sean Fraser, have destroyed our immigration system. What was it?
So we're kicking like 4.8 million out, eh? Can you believe it? I mean, I don't know how many are supposed to actually.
I don't know. I don't think that's. Oh, wait! You missed the kicker.
That was the end.
No.
What?
No, it wasn't the end.
You don't think it's the end?
No, I think you gotta go back because the best part is the end. It's gonna blow your mind about how efficient our government is, and the little things that they don't think about when they do this.
That was the end, bro.
Sean Fraser have destroyed our immigration system.
Okay, so geez, where's the other one then? There was another one. I have the same clip, but there was another one where it says, okay, you see, what was the wait time? Maybe. So scroll down further to the definition of keep going.
Scrolling through the comments on Twitter.
Oh, they must have got rid of it. Joe Canada says Canada's hardest job, the Gimmigrant. It's not. Why don't you have it here? Let me show you.
I don't know. Maybe I'm blocked. Elon's shithole.
Oh no! Am I not allowed to share all this? Okay, hang on. Oh my God, what's happening there?
Whoa! It's Graham's Tunnel of Love, the rape cave.
What's going on? Okay, I don't know if I might be messed up here. Okay, there it is. Why didn't you have this one on your screen? Have you seen this?
Immigrant?
The Gimmigrant, yeah. A person who's come to a different country in order to live there permanently and live for free, claiming all benefits paid by taxpayers, and have no intentions in working or abiding with the laws of that country. If they don't get there their own way, then they pay the discrimination or race card. Then they play the discrimination or race card. The Gimmigrants. That's pretty good. Anyways,
You're seeing this in our
Same line.
Have
just the same one. Okay, so the other clip I saw of that, they asked her, how long does it take to process this, right? And she says
44 months.
14 months right now. And it's going up to 44 months.
Yeah, 44
so they
months.
Now they're what is that? Over 3 years, 36. So almost three and a quarter years. So now people can just stay there, and they're in this like sort of limbo where they have all the.
So what's 3.75 times 82,000? $307,500. They will milk the system for by the time we get them out of here.
That's just each. That's each.
That's just each. Yeah.
So and how
can we make that?
How did you say, like, is that where your title Everybody Out came from? Or they get that you said they were getting rid of what, 4.8 million? How are they doing this? And
they're not renewing their visas. I mean, this passive aggressively as Canada would.
Not gonna do anything.
Well, that's the thing. I mean,
they're in for good now.
It's got to be like
they have a 44-month delay on their process.
Well, especially a lot of them are old as shit too. You know what I mean? Like none of those old people give a fuck. That being said, without a visa, they shouldn't be able to get like benefits. So because their whatever card has to get renewed, I think. I don't know. I've never been an immigrant before. You're kind of an immigrant. You tell me.
I'm not an immigrant. My mom's an immigrant.
You are kind of an immigrant. You're British. You're a Brit.
I do have my British citizenship.
Yeah.
That disqualifies me from podcasting, disqualifies me.
White.
And the only thing I ever used that for is to play hockey in Britain. or in Europe, actually.
They'd probably come after you for some taxes so you could pay for all their immigrants over there. I mean, you're just in 2 immigrant-loving countries. This was
So
probably 2 immigrants. You just don't know when to stop.
So this is what happened in EMO. The township of EMO, Township, Ontario, is being fined $10,000. That's not too much. And the mayor is fined $5,000 by the Ontario Human Rights Tribunal after the town didn't make an official proclamation for Pride Month in 2020.
I seen this. I knew it was your thing right away. As soon as I seen emo and Pride Month, I was like, "That's Graham written all over it."
You didn't see what?
I didn't dig any deeper. I scrolled past quickly because I knew it was going to be your thing.
The mayor will also be forced to undergo a Human Rights 101 training course. I mean,
you like Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like literal re-education.
There's a couple. I think it's great. There's a couple good comments here. I think it's great when one department of the government sues another department or level of government. Who pays the fine? John Q. Taxpayer. Stupid idiots. What does this fine accomplish? Absolutely nothing. Who is getting justice from this action? Nobody. Tribunals are kangaroo courts and have absolutely no place in it as a just and a free country. If you do something illegal, you are tried by a court of law, period. End of story. Fuck tribunals. Ask Jordan Peterson. He would agree and has some insights likely. This is the most ludicrous example of the administrative state being out of control in this country, says Bob Wilson, let alone Ontario. There are more pride proclamations than there are acknowledgements of the sacrifice made by Canadian veterans. Did you see that? The list of them going around?
Which list?
The list
of
all
your fluoride activation thing. Our fluoride, the Calgary fluoride gets turned on right away.
No, I was talking about the list of proclamations for pride and all that stuff.
No, I know, but it was on your.
Well, I know. That's one of my segments.
I also have a say. Why don't you do yours and I'll do mine next?
All right. So yeah, all this stuff we talked about going back a long time about the fluoride battle in Calgary, right? I mean, this would have been when we were just doing intros.
It was a long time ago because I was worried about that point. Had concerns about fluoride and my was being swept up in it, but we weren't getting a vote. But now I'm in the country on well, so I don't give a fuck. Let them do whatever they want. Dopes. Fucking dopes.
Oh, it's just so this is Alberta Plumber. Actually, I'll just share the screen here. I'm starting a business specifically to filter out fluoride in Calgary. Filter out fluoride in Calgary. Going to reach out to my water treatment guy and see what's required. Stay tuned, because he's linking to this news from CTV, and this is going to blow. Like,
that is not a bad idea, dude.
Yeah. Calgary moving ahead with water fluoridation, expected completion in early 2025. And I'm going to link to this.
We could buy a bunch of pumps off Alibaba or something, or a bunch of filters, and we'll just put some branding on them and triple the price and sell them all over town.
The city of Calgary is currently commissioning its upgraded water treatment. So I'm just going to actually, instead of reading this verbatim, I'm going to talk to you about what's going on. So it looks like, I thought that it was kind of stalled, but I guess I just found out recently, maybe from Nick or somebody else, or maybe you even, that they were actually just implementing the new treatment stuff, which is costing them $5 million, is it, or something like that? 10 million?
I don't know. I have the exact same article as you.
28 million. The cost to reintroduce fluoride into Calgary's water system includes 28 million for treatment plant upgrades and annual maintenance and operating costs of up to $1 million. So when we deconstructed this a while ago, it was these corporate groups, these sort of groups that were made up to bring fluoride back into the water. It was really gross. And then they just sort of disappeared after they got the plebiscite.
I had COVID. I think I had COVID when we interviewed the fluoride water guy. That the Calgary petition.
Right. We actually interviewed the water guy. Yeah. So Calgary's conducted several plebiscites, 99, 89, 71, 66, 61, and 57. I mean, it's unbelievable what a waste. Again, just a waste. Right? What?
What's a plebiscite?
It's a referendum.
Vote? I mean, what? When the plebs get to vote?
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. That's the word they use.
So this is what they say here in April, blah, blah, blah. It's they're saying that dental treatments under anesthesia have risen in Calgary since the removal of it.
Well, how much has sugar consumption and high fructose corn syrup gone up?
We are concerned about avoidable and potentially life-threatening disease, pain, suffering, misery, and expense experienced especially by very young children and their families due to dental decay. I mean, this is where they're going with it. Disease, pain, suffering, misery, and expenses because
what does that say? In just 8 years after fluoridation ended, the need for intravenous antibiotic therapy by children to avoid death by infection rose at 700%. Does that mean their mouth fucking diseases were so bad, their mouth infections were so bad, their cavities were so bad that they were gonna die? I mean, is this where we're at?
Yeah,
we're putting the fluoride in the water.
This is where we're at. I mean, it's unbelievable. I'd love to have deconstruct that stat. According to Dickinson, a University of Alberta study shows that for children under 5 years old, the rate of dental treatments under anesthesia doubled from 22 to 45. That was from 2010-11 to 2018-19.
And how do you feel like, how good of a parent do you feel like if you're like, your kid's teeth get so bad that he has to get put under? Because, I mean, at what point have you failed as a parent?
I mean, it's also very, very expensive going to the dentist. I mean, and then there's a bunch of people. It's a known neurotoxin. It's literally poison. No one with the right mind could push this garbage onto humans. Oh, there's Bob. Is that who we had on? Bob Dick? No, is that who we had on? That might have been who we had on. This is the government forcing people to pay for their own poisoning. No government should force the population to consume a toxic substance against their will. Anyone who wants a fluoride supplement can choose that. Well, what a good idea. Hey? If you want to offer fluoride, offer tablets like they did back in the 70s and 80s when people didn't know better. So anyways, I'm going to play you this. Where am I here?
Episode 515, Dr. Bob Dixon. Dr. Bob Dixon joins us to chat about the upcoming plebiscite on Calgary and surrounding area drinking water.
Do you know how to open up a tab that you just closed? Is there a way to do that?
You go to your history and recently closed.
Oh, good. Thank God I did find it. Yeah.
Da, da, da.
Huh.
Da, 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 da. What the one you just
it was the Flouride Action Network. I was gonna, because that's the ironic thing, is that all this is coming out in the US. There's been a court thing. I'm just gonna quickly find the clip that I have to talk about this. I mean, it just shows you that once they vote on these things and they get them in the system, there's no stopping it, right? This is going to happen now, no matter what kind of scientific evidence comes out after they got all this corporate funding for the plebiscite to brainwash the people into thinking that this was a good idea. Now it's just stuck in the system and it's going to get put back in. I mean, it's hard to believe at this point in 2024, fluoride is going back into the water, like physically back in. It's just mind-boggling. So this is the Flouride Action Network. This is like an update of the other side that, of course, that CTV didn't mention anything about, all they just mentioned of these local stats that they have. They don't mention anything like this. Let me just share this quickly. Sorry, it's changing the way, because I have to use Chrome now. It's changing the way I do this. Can you hear that?
I can hear that.
Fluoride trial against the EPA that stated that fluoride in drinking water at the current recommended level of 0.7 milligrams per liter poses an unreasonable risk of hazard to child IQ because there is not enough of a margin of safety between the hazard level and the exposure level that is added to community drinking water.
That amount is what the Health Canada, I think that's exactly what the Health Canada level is.
So they get you.
That the EPA's default is for there to be a factor of 10 between the hazard level and exposure level due to variability in human sensitivities. Based on the NTP's report, the hazard to child IQ exists at 1.5 milligrams per liter. Therefore,
At 1.5 milligrams, the risk to IQ. So forget IQ. Just make sure their teeth don't cause disease and death and all this other stuff, right?
according to the EPA standard,
And ignore the fact that half of them are borderline retarded already from the
needs
vaccines.
to be set at 0.15
I don't think
milligrams
I can say that on YouTube.
to create enough of a margin of safety to protect child IQ. In September, a federal
Yeah, that's it should be 0.15 ppm or lower. Dr. Ashley Mallon at the press conference on fluoride. So in September, a federal judge in San Fran made a ruling in the fluoride trial against the EPA that stated that fluoride and drinking water at the current recommended level of 0.7 milligrams per liter poses an unreasonable risk of hazard to child IQ. So, I mean, all this is happening in the States, and here we are in Canada just going completely backwards. Like people said.
Well, where
It's
they
like-
go, we'll follow
You
eventually.
can get it in the dentist and in your toothpaste if you really want it, right?
Bro, it turns out the Berkey was a huge scam.
No.
Yeah, man. There's like,
Shout out to Grimsteak in the chat. He's saying, I've been using the Berkey with the fluoride attachments for the past 2 years, but I want to get a whole house
too.
filter hooked up.
I
To
had
mine."
the Berkey too. I was a Berkey guy for years.
You had a Berkey?
Yeah, man. I
No.
lost in a divorce.
What?
But then, and then I was gonna get a Berkey again, but I ended up getting that reverse osmosis system instead. And then I started just going to the spring and getting the spring water.
Well,
But
yeah,
I was,
that's like an hour out of town. It's hard to logistically fit that in sometimes. So
well, you
but
can
what in
drink
the
poison
Berkey?
or you can logistically fit it in.
What happened to the Berkey? We need to talk about this story. What happened
Well,
with the Berkey?
I don't have that information. Let me play one clip and I'll track down the information while this clip, because this is actually from the last segment that backs up the 82,000.
You may have seen something like this around the internet. A claim that if you illegally cross the border into Canada, the federal government welcomes you with $224 per day. And it's kind of true. First off, Canada has seen a massive spike in illegal border crossings ever since 2017, although Ottawa officially refers to them as irregular border crossings. What you do is you enter Canada illegally, you find the nearest police officer, and you say, I want to apply for refugee status. A few forms later, and you're now a refugee claimant. It's going to take 2 years until a federal employee can actually review your claim to find out if you're an actual refugee. But in the interim, you get to stay. You get health care, dental coverage, and you can even apply for work and study permits. Now, with so many refugee claimants entering Canada,
They don't get free dental, do they?
municipal shelters,
Yeah.
particularly in Ontario and Quebec. And so the Trudeau government created the Interim Housing Assistance Program, a $500 million fund that essentially just buys up hotel rooms to house all the refugee claimants who, quote, otherwise would not have a place to shelter, unquote. Not all of Canada's refugee claimants are in a federally funded hotel, but if you are, you stand to receive $224 worth of taxpayer-funded benefits every day. That comes from a ministry request filed by Conservative MP Leanne Rood. Public Safety Canada reported back that it cost them $140 per night for hotel rooms and $84 per person per day per meals. So if you've got a room to yourself, $224 per day. More if you consider that all manner of personal items, including toiletries, medicines, diapers, are also provided free through the program.
So you know what it was? I think Berkey lost a lawsuit that they were faking their results.
I take the year by year, and
So it might not have been a total scam. But
You may have seen some.
But they were faking some results, though. That's the gist.
well,
Of it.
that was the gist of it. And that was just just one side of the story. I haven't
Thanks for the offer. Grimsteak wants to adopt us. We'll come and tent in his property till we find work down there. He says Berkey is innocent.
There you go.
It was the California bullshit. Okay, well, I don't know. I'll go with that. That's fine.
I got a well and a
So maybe that Alberta plumber just needs to like buy Berkeys and then install them, and they just do the install thing for people.
I'm telling you. I mean, S90 don't like it, but the answer is the Alibaba Berkeys. Ali Berkey. We'll just get some,
slipping
we'll
into
make some Berkey stickers.
We got to have a homegrown solution here.
Get out of the cities. There you go. Ian says he can sneak to Canada and get paid for his hotel. There you have it. You just need to like grow a little Mexican mustache.
We should do a CAC, a contact to the cabin for all the people who just want to sneak over,
Just have
get
a
paid, get
a
paid.
big bash at some 5-star Hilton down in Lethbridge at this hotel in town, and all their.
We'll split it with you. Like, we'll can we get like a kick out of this?
No, I don't want any of that dirty refugee money. I want some of that Indian money, feather Indian.
You want the billions. You want the land and the land.
Billion. Anyway, let's jump over to.
Mistake says, "Yeah, get out of the cities. 2 years in Philly was enough city for the rest of my life." I hear you, buddy. I'm in a small town now, and I love it. No more cities for this guy.
I was naked on the front step today.
Yeah,
cooling off after my bath.
Nice.
I can stop this one whenever you want, but I wanted to play a bit of this. I mean, I don't mind this guy, but it kind of sums up what we were talking about a little bit earlier. This fat fuck.
Oh, I like this guy. He's awesome.
I like him too.
We should have him on the show.
Some things in Canada are just unbelievable. They're staggering. They're like, I can't believe that just happened. So today, a couple days ago, the final.
He thinks we're lunatics, though, for sure.
We're lunatics?
Oh yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. He did a show where it was like a bunch of the stuff we would just take for granted and talk about us being nutters.
Finance minister said, "Hey, we're going to reduce GST on the tax we all pay. We're going to reduce it on certain specific items. Like we're going to do it on December 14th because the stores have to get a little."
So did you see the how much might have been Marty up north, how much GST paid on a $338 Costco bill? It's under $4.
Oh, they already implemented it?
Most food's already exempt from GST.
Oh, okay.
Organized, people have to get organized to be able to figure this out. Some GST, some not. So here's the great news: we're going to reduce the GST on Christmas trees and booze and snacks. What? Like,
I love it.
What in the world's going on here? Okay, but wait, there's more. So the prime minister decides to throw in his hat in the ring on the bribe-a-thon. Like, let me bribe my taxpayers to thinking I'm not a bad person. So the idea he floated is that we're going to send checks out to 19 million people for $250. Like, he wanted to beat Premier Ford in Ontario's $200 checks. Okay, you're going to send $200 to everybody. The prime minister decided, I'm going to send $250. Like, I just can't even wrap my head around it. But let's go back to the tax thing, the reducing the tax. Okay, people might say, well, that's a good idea, except this country runs a deficit. So 2 questions: if it's a good idea to reduce the taxes on potato chips, pretzels, and beer, like, what the fuck? Like, this is insane. And so we're going to reduce those taxes because it's necessary. We need to do it. We need to help Canadians. Well, then why isn't it permanent? Like, well, why is it just a fucking gimmick? Why is it a gimmick? Why is it, hey, over the holidays, you're going to have a little bit cheaper pretzels and beer.
So that'd be like, just to be clear, that'd be like 15 cents on a bag of potatoes. Like on a big bag of chips, you'd save 15 or 20 cents.
And wine and
you
a couple shots. And
what was it like for
5 cents a dollar?
5 cents a dollar. Okay.
Yeah.
Whiskey, and why not make it a little cheaper? Good, right? Absolutely nuts. Because hear me out. Every time you reduce tax in a country that runs a huge deficit, thanks to the federal government, we run an astronomical deficit. Every year, Canada piles up probably 50 billion this year, maybe 55 billion in debt. We just keep on borrowing the money. And who's on the hook for the lending? The taxpayer. So whenever we reduce tax on pretzels, potato chips, and beer, then it just gets added to the deficit. In other words, you're borrowing money to pay less tax on pretzels, potato chips, and beer, which is literally, oh, don't forget the Christmas trees, and literally crazy. Like, makes no sense. But wait, there's more. The Trudeau idea of sending everybody a check for $250, again, we run a deficit. That's like a $10 billion crazy town. Like, it's, the numbers are huge. It's probably, like, I'm thinking it's more, maybe about, like, seriously, 8 billion, 10 billion. We run a deficit. We run a huge deficit. So he's bribing you. Get this straight. He's bribing you with your own money. He taxed you already, and now he's going to bribe you with a check for $250 to make. Oh, well, that's nice. He's getting a check from the federal government. That's nice. Except it's all borrowed money. We got to pay interest on that money. They're giving us our own money, our own tax money back at interest, maybe forever.
All right. Well, that was a big long rant for, like, really not telling us too much that we didn't know already. I mean,
no, it's just a decent summary of it from someone, maybe, you know.
So here's like a couple minutes ago, this came up. Liberals tabled GST holiday legislation, putting $250 rebate on back burner. Did you know about that then?
What's the GST holiday legislation?
Well, I don't know, but it's a $250 back burner.
Does table mean it's on the table or off the table?
Well, we remember we had this discussion. I thought it was off the table, and you thought it was on the table. But the way the back burner is the key here. $250 rebate that he's talking about on the back burner.
On the back burner.
We're demanding that the Liberal government put in place a separated GST holiday first, and then fix the checks to include seniors and people living. Oh, because that didn't blow up in their face, right? That people like living with disabilities and seniors didn't get that.
That's fine. Who cares? Fuck them. Why do the seniors can it just be for the people that are paying an exorbitant amount of GST? People that pay their tax.
Well, they pay GST on stuff too. They have to buy stuff too, goods and services. Not as much, but I mean, they can barely make it by as it is, dude. You can't make it by on the disability.
I'm already paying for the old people. Now I'm giving them more. We're already paying for them.
Yeah, but that's not your fault. That's the government's fault.
It's because we're living in a fucking socialist government. It's socialism's fault. We don't need to give anyone more than active taxpayers tax rebates.
The GST and HST holidays estimated to cost $1.6 billion, while the checks heading to Canadians who made $150,000 or less, unless you're senior or disabled, which you're making barely above the pot, like you're barely making it sort of ends meet, is set to cost $4.7 billion.
Ba-da-ba.
What else should I read out of this? Nothing or what? So that bill. What did you ask what that was? So it's promised a holiday consumer relief package has been split in half. So the NDP leader said his party was only ready to help pass the 2-month goods and services portion of the affordability. All this, how much is all this like finagling and bullshit costing us in general? Anyways, just coming up with these cockamamie ideas to try and sell themselves to the public.
Take $216,000. And multiply it by 368, and then divide that by 365, and then, you know, for every day, it's at least that much. It's a lot. Go be 10 grand a day, 20.
Oh, dude, at least
50. Well, I mean, it's almost 220. Like if there's 368 of them, then it's like 225,000 a day just in salaries.
Like
expensive.
This
like half every day they're like going back, like calling each other those stupid names and everything. Is just like $500,000 poof, $500,000 poof, $500,000. There's $250,000 just in salaries.
This move leaves
Trudeau, probably 50 grand.
This move leaves Trudeau's promise of a new one-time benefit payment of $250 for 18.7 million workers hanging in the balance as it too needs legislation to be enacted. People are desperate for relief, and the NDP has one little help for them. Oh, it's just so gross.
The government, I thought I didn't think the Liberals were allowed to table any legislation right now. So we give up the documents.
Hey, what does Grimsteak say? Because I bet you we're going to disagree with them. At least you guys aren't watching billions a month go to you. Oh, yeah, we're watching plenty go to Ukraine and everywhere else, dude. You should see the stuff. I bet you guys are paying for.
If you multiply it by our per capita, the like 14 billion we've given to Ukraine is 140 billion. So we're right there with you, buddy.
I bet you guys don't send stuff to Africa for gender reassignment philosophy and procedures and
guaranteed.
There's about 30 to 50 like gender fluid grifts going on with our money going out to different countries. What?
Gender grifting bastards.
I had a dream about Trudeau last night. I got to tell you.
Oh boy, no.
So weird, dude. Yeah, it was really weird. So, and I think it was part of my. I had this big relapse dream. Right? Oh,
did you fool around?
Grip sticks. Oh, I just had a total head rush.
Easy.
I just had a grip sticks. You notice the size of my cursor.
Yeah.
Totally showing my age. Yeah, across the two screens, I need a big cursor. Okay, big deal.
From 10 minutes ago is also showing your age.
I had this dream that I relapsed on a whole bunch of cocaine with a bunch of people, and some of it was blue. It was really weird. Like it was.
Have you been watching Breaking Bad?
No, not at all. But and we got busted with a cop. So get this. I'm like, we got busted. I was walking down the hill after all the guys had already gotten away, and I was left with this cop, and I was like supposedly super high with coke like everywhere, and I was like rubbing it in my hands, and I was rubbing it all over my face like this. And I was wondering what to do with the cop, and I was gonna start licking my hand, and like it was crazy, this crazy relapse dream, right? And I wake up, the cat's licking my face, the half of my face, like my cat's licking it's all over. And then Trudeau is in this. He goes into this little closet thing, and
wait, he didn't answer my question. You just blew right past it.
I didn't hear anything.
Asked if you had an erection.
No, of course you can't get an erection when you're that high. Like that's the problem. So even in your dream. So we're in this group of people, and Trudeau has to go into this closet, and he's got this like mix this thing it's not going to make any sense at all, but you might see some symbolism in there. And he's got to go in with this weed mix and do something. It's almost like he's got to like snort weed or do some weird thing with weed, right? With marijuana. And he knows I'm looking. So I'm pulling myself up over the little doorway, and I'm the only one that can see him in the world. Like I can just see Trudeau like in this little closet thing. And he sees me, and he like we're making eye contact and all this stuff. And I actually felt kind of sympathy for the guy. I felt kind of sorry for him actually. And then alchemy, yeah, Grimsteak says alchemy. And then he purposely doesn't do it. Like he knows I'm watching, and I can tell everybody that he's not doing it, but he's supposed to do it, and he doesn't do it. He physically like makes sure that I see him not do it.
Not do the drugs.
Yeah. Or what? No, it's not like he was. I don't even know if it was like he was supposed to do drugs, but it's something about weed and something about him mixing something up, but he wasn't doing it. It's weird, eh?
I think we should have a
intervention rule. A what?
No dreams on the show rule.
Okay, fine. Just with the Trudeau thing, it's just. I mean, it was just very strange.
All right. That's all right.
Gripstick is making me laugh again. You sure this isn't a repressed memory and you got fucked up with Trudeau and drunk Graham days? I mean, dude, we were partying in some similar places, so it is weird. We did definitely cross, not necessarily the same years, but we definitely made some.
When I met you, you're still kind of a creeper too. I could see that. I could see you and Trudeau howling for chicks together.
No way.
With your nipple clips on. Have you seen this one from our buddy, the unacceptable Canadian girl? Came on the
Well,
show. I can't remember what episode.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to play this too. This is kind. I mean, I don't even know what to say about this. I'm not sure what vibe I get from her actually.
From this broad?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's all about cover up. It was very, very good. All the investment, all the money goes, I mean, not all the money, but it goes a lot to the image.
You gave a couple other names to me earlier. I don't want to say it until you're comfortable. One of the names was another famous politician from the West.
Yeah.
How did you meet him?
He was also there that week.
He was also there that week.
Yeah, Pierre Trudeau.
And what was the interaction with you?
Scary.
Was his wife also involved or just him?
I didn't see his wife, or I don't know. I didn't see anybody else but him.
But you vividly remember him. And when did you know it was him later on? Because at the time you're 9, 10 years old.
Yeah, again, this came much, much later. I don't remember exactly when I realized that it was him.
You don't remember when he came to you later that it was Pierre?
No.
Justin Trudeau's father, right? That's who you're talking about.
Yes.
He has a great voice.
And
who does? He does?
Yeah, great voice for a podcast.
I mean, you've never mentioned his name before, right? No. Trudeau.
Just enough.
What was that relationship like? Or the experience like? Was it a one-day thing? Was it a repetitive? Happened?
All right, I'll tell you.
Iranian or something.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
David Rockefeller had me trained as a spy.
That's just that
So
right
I
amount
was
of broken.
A sex slave,
really
of course, and I was an elite sex slave now. And
so
I was
David
trained
Rockefeller was training her as a spy
through the mind control training. And so that week, I was
That'd be
sleeping with men, and then I would
MK
go
Ultra, you think?
report on their weaknesses or their sexual preferences to David Rockefeller.
Why did he need that information? Is that how to blackmail and use it later on in negotiation?
For example. Or if he knows what they want, then he can give it to them.
Okay, stop it.
James Cruz isn't even a real fucking name.
This is an important part because I always wondered about this. Like how if you're like an Epstein, you're running the Epstein ring, right? Or one of those.
Wonder about that.
Would you just listen to me? If you're and how do you, and you're trying to blackmail a politician or get some goods on some high level dude, right? How do you know what his preferences are? And here she goes talking about one of her roles for, she's saying Rockefeller, was to figure out what they want, right? What turns them on, what their preferences are. So then later on, if they get put in this situation, they know like you get this person to do this because then they're gonna go for it, right? They're gonna compromise themselves. Like this is the pre-comp.
Trudeau, I said that I could never please him as long as I was alive. That's how scary that was.
He looks like a fuck.
You could never please him?
If I was alive.
I mean, it's hard to believe Trudeau, a pretty good-looking dude, came from that
Trudeau?
fucking creature, you know?
What does that mean?
That's where the Cuban
means
stuff
that-
kind of comes in.
Wait, you're gonna
kill me.
step on this.
That's where the like.
Have you heard this part?
No, that's
Okay,
where
well-
the Castro stuff comes in. Castro's a way better-looking dude than Pierre.
Oh yeah, okay, but you got to play this. You got to back it up like 10 seconds and play this last part because it's a bit. It might even be a bit too much. We might get deleted right off of YouTube, but let's just.
Well, we probably got deleted already for when I said
Yeah.
vaccines are making the kids retarded.
Yeah,
But it's true.
With Trudeau.
Identify as a doctor now.
What does that mean?
Doctor.
It means that he couldn't kill me because at that point I was not a throwaway child, and he scared me enough so that I then tell Rockefeller that that's what he wants, a child to kill. Then you understand that the next time he can, if he wants to use that, he can use it. He can use that information.
Rockefeller.
Mm-hmm.
So how many of these celebrities did abuse you during that specific event that you were at for you to come back and report to David?
Oh God, I don't even remember. I was very busy. And at that time, and I want to specify that when I was in Belgium, I always had a distance from the perpetrators, and I always knew that they were wrong and that I, was a human being, and that they even.
The end.
Okay.
So what do you think? Some people think she's an op. I think that's a grim.
It's all about cover up. It was very, very good.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say, what to make of it. Some part of me that I didn't really clip it because I was like, I don't know if I want to even give that any airtime, without some sort of corroboration there. But
corroborate.
There is another lady saying similar stuff, though. It's just hard to actually. I did have a copy of it, but it goes way back. It goes back a couple decades, I think. So.
All right, well, let's jump into this one next. Montana's Attorney General says RCMP made a request to conduct surveillance at a local gun show. That's got to be my RCMP. I got
to for you that back in the in the day, about a year and a half ago.
That's how I got my AR. Gun show. The gun show. Montana. It was in Helena. Montana Attorney General said he has received a request from the RCMP seeking to conduct surveillance at 2 upcoming gun shows in his state, a request he strongly opposes. Austin Knudsen said the Division of Criminal Investigation in the Montana Department of Justice recently reviewed the RCMP request regarding gun shows in Bozeman and Kalispell. Knudsen said he will try to prevent the RCMP from coming. My hair is absolutely on fire, he told Bozeman radio station's KMMS on November 25th. I absolutely hit the roof and instructed my agencies we are absolutely not being any part of this. The Republican Attorney General said he spoke to the local sheriffs where the gun shows will be held and said everyone involved is in agreement. Knudsen said the surveillance is inappropriate and probably illegal, and he would consider suing the U.S. federal government if necessary. Any RCMP action in the U.S. would be coordinated with the federal law enforcement agencies such as the ATF and explosives of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Knudsen mentioned an incident 2 years prior when an undercover RCMP officer had been reportedly conducting surveillance at a gun show in Great Falls, Montana, as part of joint work with the ATF. Cascade County Sheriff Jesse Slaughter said his outfit had not been notified. The U.S. and Canadian federal agencies were conducting an operation. Slaughter said the situation could have turned into an international incident. Much of Canada's gun crime can be traced to firearms sourced from the United States. Imagine that, not by illegal gun owners like me. For example, 70% of all traced guns used in crimes in Ontario in 2021 came from the United States. Montana is a northern U.S. state that shares a border with BC, Alberta, and Saskatchewan. I feel really bad for our neighbors to the north, he said. Knudsen, a firearms aficionado, criticized the Canadian federal political leadership during his radio interview and invited Saskatchewan and Alberta residents to move down here. I might take you up on that, Knudsen. I might take you up on that. Yeah, but right now Alberta is all right. So I'm going to stick around here for now, play it out.
So you think, let's see if Grimstake, Grimstake, are you down there? Are you sending millions like we're sending up here, 62 million in new internet? This is new international funding, by the way. This is from Table Salt to ensure that Eswatini, Tajikistan, Thailand, and Togo's national biodiversity strategies are gender responsive and inclusive. Thanks. That's how much of that money, how much of my money went into that? I mean, I don't want to figure out.
1 million taxpayers, so $4.
$4. I just spent $4 on biodiversity and gender inclusiveness.
Wonder why I don't pay taxes. Also, because I'm an Indian on stolen land.
You want to see the house prices? I'm still on there. I'm still sharing.
No.
Want to see the house prices? I've been waiting. I've been saving this up. Let's look at this. This is again from Table Salt. So this is a good graph. Watch till the end. Canada house pricing versus wages. So let me see if Grimstick thinks that it's this bad in the States too. They stole your future and told you it was because you spend $10 a month on Disney Plus.
He doesn't. He wants us to move there.
So this is in the mid 80s, so 84, 85, where it looks like you
were trying to pick up chicks right around here.
I wasn't trying.
Is this when you got your single mastectomy?
Yeah, it was right when those two lines converged, probably. You know what? I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, I don't even think I was complaining about it. I think it was the doctor that wanted that to happen. I think I was pushed.
You got talked into top surgery?
I got talked into, single, like, and I'm like, why didn't he do both sides? He just wrecked one side completely.
Can I see him now?
Probably not now.
Not now, okay.
Maybe in the plus, in the extension.
That's what it's devolved to.
I mean, people are going to see them if they want in this little mini documentary that's coming out of, I'm like, Fat Graham is in the pool, basically. Anyways, here's your house prices. Your income at 14% and your house price at 22%, and that's already spreading apart in 1986, 1987, 88. That's okay. It comes back down in 1990 a little bit. 93, 94. They're both going up sort of in parallel. House prices come down a little bit in the late 90s. So it's almost like, it's a little bit better. Oh, the wages, income's catching up a little bit. And then in 2001, and let's see and 2006, it just skyrockets. I mean, house prices are way up, wages kind of stagnant.
9/11.
Right. And then, so now we're at 2013, 2014. So now houses, let me just pause it for a sec. So houses are at 450% and wages are at 150%. Now it's like the graph is changing completely now. It's at 650% in 2012, 13, 14, probably.
2019.
And then it just skyrockets again, 2021, 2022. Oh, let me just go back to the end there. So, and then it ends in
900% to 200%.
How do I get that last graphic back? December 2022. So that's not even including 2023 and 2024. I mean, I think it's even got worse, worse over since then, right? Or do you think that's the peak? So 900%.
I think it's probably like late 2023 will end up being the peak.
Yeah. I mean, but just look at that. Man, this is.
Well, that's the price you live to pay in Canada, buddy. The best country on earth with the free healthcare, right? Speaking of that free healthcare, let's see how well it's doing.
It's not free.
Well, it's not free. It's not free. It's about 35-40% of your income tax. So for me, that's like
how much? How much?
I pay probably personally like 15 or 16,000 a year into it. Anyway, this is comparing the performance of universal healthcare countries in 2024. I think we're gonna skip through most of it. I really just want to get to the graphs down at the bottom, where we can see how we're doing against these other people. So where's number 2 here? We probably should check that one quick. So how much does Canada spend on healthcare compared to other countries? We come in 9th with 11.5%, or $7 billion spent on, or 7,000 million, as Graham would say.
What's the percent mean? A percentage of what?
GDP, which is, so this is kind of telling right here when we're 4th when you count our percentage of GDP spent on healthcare, but 9th when it comes to actual money spent. So it kind of shows you how shitty our GDP is. we're spending $7 billion a year, so it's not cheap. There it is here. Fourth in spending. Down here, that's in the per capita adjusted. Let's jump down to the bottom here when it gets. Let's get to the meat of it. So for all of the money that we're spending, physicians per 100,000, we're 28, 29th out of 31 countries. Nurses per 100,000, we're, I don't know, maybe 12th. Somatic care beds per 100,000, we're in the bottom 5. The UK is a little worse. Korea is killing it. I mean, especially when all those people start dying. What are they saying? Like South Korea right now, for every 100 South Koreans right now, there will only be 4 grandchildren. So they'll have tons of beds. We could buy some beds off them. For resources, MRI units per million population, we're 26 out of 31, down with Denmark, United Kingdom, Israel, and Hungary. Top of the list, which could be interesting, Japan, Korea, Greece, Norway, Germany. CT scanners per million, we're 27th out of 31. UK's last.
Where's all the money going?
I don't know. Consultations with doctors per capita, we're right in the middle of the pack. 3 under average. Average would be about 17th, I think. Or yeah, there's 31 countries total. Curative care discharge rates per million, age adjusted to 2022. Dead last.
What does that mean? Curative, as in like you've been discharged because you're healthy again? You're cured?
Yeah, you're cured, not dead.
We're last.
Last. I mean, when MAID is like your number 2 or number 3 killer, explain it. Percentage of patients who are able to make same day or next day appointments when sick, dead last. Percentage of patients who waited more than 1 month for an appointment with a specialist, second last. Percentage of patients who waited more than 2 months for elective surgery, dead last. Percentage of patients who found a cost barrier to access medical and dental care in the past year. We're not even first place for that. We're 7th. So there's I mean, we do have quite a bit of American listeners. So I just wanted to, I figured that'd be a good rundown of infant mortality per 1,000 live births in 2021. We are 29th out of 31 developed OECD countries.
What's the one underneath New Zealand?
The Slovak Republic.
Wow.
So even, where's the USA on here?
I don't think they're in any.
Oh, they're not on here because they have, but they would be down right around where we are because their infant mortality is almost identical to ours. They don't have universal health care. So, I mean, if you're going to have a kid, it looks like Finland, Japan, Slovenia, Sweden. I mean, your odds of it dying are half.
Yeah, that's not good. I'd love to see where the money's gone.
Untreatable mortality, we're like 1, 2, 3, 4.
What about suicide? Do they have suicide on here? They have maid pods, maid service. We're first in maid service. I bet.
We're guaranteed we're first in killing people. Maid, you dead. That's it. That's
all right. Well, that's good. Can you send me that report, or can you send me?
Well,
we'll put a link in the show notes, right?
I can put a link right here.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, for all the people that think Canada's healthcare is free and so good.
Speaking of terrible healthcare, did you hear about this? I don't think I got to this on the last show, did I? The dead gorilla.
No, it's not. Yeah, unmuted. Yeah.
Being described as a tragic accident and a result of human error. The Wilder Institute Calgary Zoo says its 2-year-old lowland gorilla died last week when it was struck by a hydraulic door. Today's announcement follows an investigation and a promise to increase safety measures, but some critics suggest more still needs to be done. Here's Mark Villani.
Natalia Givardina is taking her child to see her favorite animal at the Calgary Zoo. She hadn't heard what happened to 2-year-old Iari.
Well, that's really sad because my kid actually was looking forward to see gorilla. That's why we actually came here.
Others were just as surprised.
Very sad to hear about it, and it's kind of horrible what happened to the gorilla.
The zoo says Iari was moving in the back portion of her enclosure on the morning of November 12th when a zoo worker made a grave error.
The gorilla care team member intended to activate a door to separate Iari from other members of the troop for an individual animal training session, but mistakenly activated the wrong door.
A horizontal hydraulic door struck Iari on the head. It's unclear if she was crushed. Veterinary teams started CPR, but it was too late. The zoo says the employee involved is devastated and is getting support. A series of preventative training measures are now in effect.
Funny, it was like 2 days after her jab, too. Did you know that?
No, but
just kidding.
Why are we why would you get support for killing the gorilla? Just it takes some time. We got you. It's okay. I mean, is this a tragedy or more evidence of idiocracy?
So the horizontal hydraulic door came down and just crushed the gorilla?
She closed the door on the fucking thing. Human error. Speaking of human error, how about this? Kind of get away from Canada here for a sec. Go to Walmart, which is in Canada. So,
all right, y'all. I don't even know how to start this video because honestly, this is different than everything else we've done because this is the single largest employer in the United States. We are talking about a company that is worth almost $1 trillion on its own. As many of you know, I've been investigating a massive company now for a while, and I have kept my lips sealed on who it was. Now I can reveal it was Walmart, but something incredible happened in the course of my investigation. Walmart became aware of our investigation and reached out to me. This was critical and honestly turned out pretty fantastic for everybody involved, in my opinion. We were able to have frank conversations with Walmart. And as I've said for a long time, I don't ask companies to take on my political views. I am simply advocating for corporate neutrality. I believe that that is the future because I understand there are people in this country who do not agree with my politics. So it would not be fair of me to force my politics on them the same way that I am not okay with left-wing policies being forced on me and people like me via things like DEI. After various conversations, I am very proud to report to you guys that Walmart has decided on making some changes. I'm going to lay out what those changes are for you and explain how massive this is for our movement. We are unstoppable at this point with a 100% flip rate where we change corporate America and get them back to a culture of sanity and neutrality. Bullet point number 1, Walmart will be removing all inappropriate sexual and or transgender products that are marketed toward kids, things like chest binders for teenagers or books that encourage transitioning. That is all going to be gone. Bullet point number 2, Walmart is going to review and stop funding to all events that could be sexually inappropriate for kids. That includes drag queen story time or pride events that expose kids to sexually inappropriate topics. That's all going to stop going forward. Third bullet point, Walmart will be closing their racial equity center. This is a center they had committed $100 million to, and it was a 5-year project. They will be closing that center going forward. Fourth bullet.
What do you think happened there? You should see if you can find the website while this finishes up. Do you remember what it's called?
Bullet point, Walmart will no longer in the HRC's Corporate Equality Index social credit system. This scoring system is what has brought wokeness into so many segments of corporate
It's the Racial Equity Center.
America, and we are happy to see them no longer participating. There is not a corporation in America that should be participating with the HRC's CEI scoring system going forward. The HRC got explicitly political in the 2024 election, working with everything they have to defeat Donald Trump and calling him every name in the book. It is time for companies to recognize that they need to move away from this system that is explicitly political and embrace corporate neutrality so that everybody is welcome in their stores. Fifth bullet point, Walmart is going to be reviewing their supplier diversity programs to ensure that nobody's receiving preferential treatment on the basis of race. And they will also ensure that financing eligibility will no longer be predicated on providing certain demographic information. Sixth bullet point, and this is a favorite for me, being Latino myself, Walmart will no longer be using the term Latinx in any of their official communications. That is the way. I was very disappointed to see it was there. But again, this is across corporate America. So this is a company, Walmart, who is doing the right thing here. And I want to give them credit for that. Getting rid of this, big. We don't want to hear Latinx ever again. Bullet point number 7, Walmart will be discontinuing their racial equity training through the Racial Equity.
What does Latinx mean?
Latinx. Well, it's so they're, oh dude, I don't even know, but it's so, you know, you don't call them Latin like Latinas. It's no longer Latinas because that's somehow offensive, or so the
just
Latinx.
chicks?
And the people,
Latinas are chicks. Latinos.
I know. Yeah, okay. So Latinos, Latinx. Maybe that's why. It's because that was too gender based.
Well, maybe Latinx is not gender.
It's not gender based. So and they're all like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" They you think they want to be called Latinx? Like, it's awesome. Looks like here from Brianna Morello. Good news. If you're looking for Walmart's DEI details, it's gone. They deleted the DEI page on their website. Other End Wokeness says in the past few months, DEI programs have been entirely eliminated by Ford, Coors, Lowe's, Boeing, Toyota, Walmart, Caterpillar, Craftsman, John Deere, Jack Daniels, Tractor Supply, and Harley Davidson. None of this would be possible without Robbie Starbuck and Elon purchasing X.
This is Robbie Starbuck.
Getting rid of woke trainings. And last but not least, drumroll please for the big one, DEI. They will be discontinuing use of DEI both publicly and privately at Walmart. This is a massive win for our movement. The momentum just keeps growing. This is the largest employer in the United States, worth almost $1 trillion. Other companies are taking notice. Suppliers of Walmart are taking notice now. With Christmas right around the corner, I'm happy I could deliver you guys one retailer that will drop the woke policies. You've still got Amazon and Target acting crazy out there with wokeness. So I'm glad I could give you guys one at least. And yes, we do have our eyes on Amazon and Target. America just voted, and we voted against wokeness. We voted for sanity. We voted for corporate neutrality. We don't want companies funding divisive things, and Walmart is setting a great example here for other companies to turn around. It's not too late. Turn around. People are very forgiving, and we can get back to sanity together and rebuild and make this country the greatest.
Blah, blah, blah. Fuck you, Starbuck. That's enough. But pretty good, huh?
Yep.
What do you got? I got.
Well, let's move on to the second half. I got mostly second half stuff. I mean, I've got other stuff too, but we're sort of running late here. Okay, here I'll do one thing because this is kind of more in the first half. I think. Do you remember we went through that ICC thing and it ended up being a couple months old, and it was all these countries getting together, the International Criminal Court, and trying to get mad at Netanyahu and Israel. Do you remember that? And you were like, yeah, it's not a big deal. It's just this, ICC thing. Are these countries really like signing up for this thing? Have you heard the recent thing about this?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to play this for you, and I'm going to play something else, a reaction to it, and then we can go on. So this is a full statement. International Criminal Court issues arrest warrants for Benjamin Netanyahu. So this is, I think this is more recent, right, than the other one. So this is Friday, November 22nd, so 5 days ago. This comes on the heels of the U.S. being the only country out of 14 to veto the ceasefire in Gaza. So that's not a good sign either. Statement from ICC prosecutor Karim A.A. Khan, KC, on the issuance of arrest warrants in the situation in the state of Palestine. So I don't think we need to get into too much detail. Based on the evidence presented by my office, the judges have confirmed that there are reasonable grounds to believe that Rome Statute crimes have been committed. And then you want to see the response from one of the Canadian politicians who's not looking very good right now. And see what he says.
Are you playing something?
Yeah, I'm just about to play something here. Can you hear that?
Because we're next. So to any ally, Canada, Britain, Germany, France, if you try to help the ICC, we're going to sanction you.
Look at his eyes, eh? He just looks messed up. Senator Graham reacts. He totally threatening anybody that goes help with the ICC.
Well, that means I want every ally. And you saw little Justin in Canada and his position.
Little Justin.
We should crush your economy because we're next. Why can't? So to any ally.
Yeah. Anyways. So it seems to be happening, ramping up again from when we talked about it a few months ago. The chat, this guy's a gay lizard. He looks like he just smoked a spliff. Lindsay never met a war he didn't love. ICC, another world government entity to avoid. Grimstake, just posturing and dick waving. Nothing will happen.
The best dick waiver. Here's have you seen this?
On the other side, bitches! Solution is
No. The final solution.
the final solution. You know what the final solution is? Do you know what the final solution is? On the other side.
All masked, right? They have to be masked, right? And then, I mean, so many comparisons to the Freedom Convoy and what was happening in Montreal. I mean, Justin did come out and he did. I gotta give him some props for his statement. Did you see what he said about it?
No, when he was dancing at Taylor Swift.
When he was, yeah. I mean, I feel sorry for the guy. I really do, because he's just being himself. He's the one politician that's being himself out there in the concerts, giving out friendship bracelets to all the teenage girls. Like, he's just being himself.
Well, they figured he's a fag. They figured out who it was, right?
Who what was?
Who that was.
Who what
Saying
was?
that stuff.
Oh, did they? Okay, hang on. So what we saw in the streets of Montreal last night was appalling. Acts of anti-Semitism, intimidation, and violence must be condemned wherever we see them. The RCMP are in communication with local police. There must be consequences and rioters held accountable. I mean, I mean, at least he did come out and say that. I got to give him credit where credit's due. I mean, so
last night, a franchisee at the Jewish General Hospital was filmed making hateful remarks and gestures. Second Cup has zero tolerance for hate speech. In coordination with the hospital, we've shut down the franchisee's cafe and are terminating their franchise agreement. So it's interesting, though, that Second Cup can do that at their sole discretion.
Wow, that's crazy.
Franchise actions are not only a breach of our franchise agreement, so you can't say the final solution, which is probably a bit much. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it's still okay.
Free
Like,
speech includes hate speech, losers, but they also violate the values of inclusion in the community we stand for at Second Cup.
Wow.
Second Cup Canada has cut ties with its franchisee at Montreal's Jewish General Hospital after the franchisee was spotted allegedly making hateful gestures during an anti-Israel protest last week. Last night, a franchisee at the Jewish General Hospital was filmed making hateful remarks and gestures. Second Cup said this franchise actions are not only a breach of our franchise agreement, but they also violate the values of inclusion and community. So,
what does that have to do with anything? I mean,
this decision came after Peter Mamaz, CEO of the Montreal-based Foodtastic, which owns Second Cup Canada, confirmed with operations staff and employees that a woman seen in videos circulated online that shows her allegedly making hateful gestures and comments during a protest at Montreal's a franchisee of the coffee chain.
Oh, this is bullshit.
Canceled to the point of
they're getting their own medicine, though. I mean, this is crazy, but they're getting their own medicine. So how could Second Cup be allowed to do that?
Yeah, it
Right?
seems crazy. Seems crazy. I mean, everyone. I mean, just for. I mean, this little
even if she was like directly
run-of-the-mill
even then, I don't know if that's right.
Yeah, it's just
Like-
a little run-of-the-mill anti-Semitism.
Wow, where are we? Where are we
I
going?
mean, that's canceled, right? It's like, boom, man, you don't own a business anymore. Fuck you. Wouldn't you own your location in a franchise?
Well,
in
you
Boston?
think, right? Franchisee. I mean, you must have put money into it to open it up, but I mean, it's yours, right? Isn't it? I mean, that's crazy that they have the power to do that.
Seems
But I mean,
whack.
to show you like what I mean, this is it's karma in a way, right? The like Grimsteak said in the chats here, the far left and the far right have finally become the same party. I mean, they've been canceling everybody, and now it's coming around because people are going to support one side or the other, and this side happens to be Israel, and that's who's canceling them.
The Jews. So, anyway, should we get over the second half? The extension.
Yeah.
Roundup extension. If you guys want to check out those extensions, head over to AmericaOutlaw.ca today. Sign up for Plus.
You save all the good
$6 a month.
stuff.
It's nothing. We save the good stuff. No, that's not really the good stuff. I'm muted. Am I muted?
No, you're not muted to me. So.
Muted. You're fucking crazy, SP. Anyway, we love you guys. Check it out, grammaticoutlawed.ca. Sign up today. And you get these extensions in the second half of all the interviews, and it's like hundreds and all sorts of stuff like that. So just sign up, and it helps us not go homeless in our country falls apart. So sign up today. We love you. All right, Graham, start us off.
All right. Oh boy, now I got to start. Well, I mean, I'm going to talk about what am I going to talk about? COVID jabs again, Pfizer pregnancy stuff. Paul Ehrlich, did you see that thing in Germany? Okay, I want to see if you catch the, what would you call this? The irony of this one. Let me just close some tabs off here.